Hi everyone. I Today my tier list is gonna be based on Playland Peonies, Fright Night, and their haunted mansions. Sorry if my voice is kind of sounds weird and hoarse. It's because I literally just came back from screaming and I screamed a lot. Um, but yeah, so this would be my tier list for 2024. Um, when we went today, the lines weren't actually that long, so we were actually able to go through all the haunted houses and a couple of the rides, and then we're gonna start off with the newest edition, the Void. So, Void 2024, I would give B. I'll give it a B tier because like it was fun, but not as fun as last year's Void experience I had. Um, this year Void, I feel like it's just I don't know, it's just not as interesting. Like last year, like it was just so funny with my friends because like first half is like pretty mild, and literally last year they had an emergency exit in the middle and the door wasn't closed properly. So like my friends and I were very confused, like if that was like the actual exit because it just says exit on there, and we were like, well, there wasn't really anything that happened. Um, why are they telling us to exit? That's lame. And then we literally had like a couple who literally left because they thought it was an exit. But then my friends and I, after we thought about it a little bit, we were like, no, this can't be it. So we like walked a little further in and realized that was just emergency. There was more, and then the latter half is actually where it gets kind of fun. Like it was just so funny because my friends, I could just see them like, I could just remember their two of my friends like their backs like ready to leave like like they were like swimming towards the end. Like it was just kind of funny. But this year's Void, it wasn't as scary or funny. I found that. The next list is the Bloodshed. So this one we went last year as well. This one I would give a C tier. This one is like a lot more gory than the others. So if you don't do well with blood, um, I guess not for you. I guess actually I'm gonna rank this D because first of all, maybe it's because I was in the front for this one. Like I feel like if you're in the front it's not as scary because like all like the actors they pop up after a little while because they want more people in the room. So like you're kind of like already like on your way leaving when they like pop out and scare you. So like a lot of times these jump scares I was just like kind of like ready to exit, so like it wasn't really in my peripheral. And like there was like one thing when they were like scaring you, but like he didn't pop up fast enough, nor the second jump scare was fast enough, and I can kind of predict when they were gonna do a jump scare, so it wasn't really funny. It wasn't really like that fun. Um, yeah, it's just those jump scares were kind of bad in my opinion. And there was a room where they have like it's like a bathroom, but it's like super gross. Like my friend said, "Oh, look at like the blood in the toilet is so gross," but I literally did not realize it was blood. I literally thought it was shit. Like it was just diarrhea, and I was just so grossed out by that entire room. I was just like, retching the entire time. I was like literally like dry heaving because it was so nasty. Um, but we went last year, and honestly, I don't even remember the toilet room. I do remember it was gory, and because of that, I will rank last year's experience at the bloodshed a C tier because I don't remember like the only reason it's D tier of this year's is because of that gross washroom that I saw. But since I can't remember if I saw that last year, I'll give that last year's a C tier. But it's like pretty gory. Like my friends didn't really want to go this year, but I wanted I like kind of made them because I'm like I kind of like if you're like if you did all like the haunted houses, we might as well just like you know, do everything. Like I, but then it was, yeah, if it's gory, like I don't mind gore, like blood, to be honest. But if you're not very good with that, maybe avoid it. The next is Carnival. This one I had hopes for it because it's like clown, it's scary. Like the actors that are in front who takes photos and stuff like that, they were pretty scary too. But this one I'll give B tier as well. Like just wasn't as scary. Like I did a lot of screaming for sure, but like after I'm like, oh, like it wasn't like, oh my gosh, that was so scary. Like and for Void, last year's Void, like I was like when we left, we were like, oh my gosh, that was terrifying. But then I also was like so like locked in, like I didn't see any of the jump scares. But I was still terrified because my friends were terrified. But this year, even though I wasn't locked in and I saw like pretty much all the jump scares, it wasn't that scary. But Carnival, I feel like there wasn't that much jump scares. Like it wasn't like it's like it wasn't as creepy as it could be. So B. I was just like after it, I was just like, okay, it's done. Like whatever. The Darkness. So Darkness is I think is one of their better haunted houses for sure. But this year's I'd also rank this a B tier. To be honest, like I don't know if this year the haunted houses are less scary or it's just since we already went last year, like it's not as scary, if you know what I mean. Because I've never been to Fright Night before until last year, and we went to three haunted houses. We went to the Darkness, we went to the Void, and we went to the Bloodshed. And when and all our experiences this year was just like mediocre compared to last year's. But also we can't compare it, like we don't really have any comparison because like we're like, oh, maybe it's because last year was our first time, it was more scary. But then we really wouldn't know because for the other, because if we found the other haunted houses to be more interesting and more scary, but like that we didn't go last year, so maybe that's why, because it's like new for us. But Darkness this year's B, I was just like literally just walking like an Asian dad, like, with my hands behind my back and just like there was a couple jump scares, like I know like the room where it makes you kind of dizzy, but like other than that, it wasn't really scary. Like maybe I did like at the end there was a good jump scare and I was scared for that. Um, but other than that, it wasn't. I think this one also did like where there's two actors and one is like when you go into the room it's like it's visible in your sight and you're like, oh, you're predicting it, but there's actually another actor in a mask on the opposite side and you think that's not a person, it's just like a mannequin. But like the one who does the jump scare is like the person in the mask because you're kind of focused on like the person you see initially. So I think they did that. I think that one was done well. But other than that, I don't understand the theme of it as well. Like I was kind of confused. Like last year was just scary and fun, but this year I don't understand the theme. Oh yeah, and for this year's Bloodshed, like the first room, there's literally a actor there and I completely missed him. Like it was just like not very scary. So last year's Darkness though, I would rank S tier. It was like scary. Maybe it was also like our first haunted house we went to. It was like scary. It was fun. Like I did not know the theme back then, but I was like scared. But this year I was just like, And this year we went to, what is this one? Oh, Fear. Fear. I'll rank A. I don't even remember it much, but I remember being like, oh, this was a pretty good one. That's all I remember. Like it. Now think about it, it's not that memorable, but um it was good. Oh, and this one I think had a pretty long line too. Like it had one of the longest lines. I mean, it wasn't very long compared to last year, but this year, yeah, it was, and it was pretty good. Like you could hear a lot of screaming when you're waiting in line. But yeah, it was scary. It was good. I don't know what else to say. It's just unfortunate. I literally can't remember any details. The next I'm gonna rank is the Doll Factory. This one is also B tier. I was kind of hyped up for it because my friends said like we get separate in the middle, but like even though we do, we like the separation isn't long, and it's not like there was anything scary during this best separation. Oh, I remember Fear. Actually, it was fun. Like I was in the front, and then like I could literally see an actor. Like there was like this only one way, and then the actor's there, and I could see him. And my friend and I just we would refuse to move. We were like, "That's a real person. It's a real person." Eventually, my other friend went, and then he like came out to scare us, and then he was like, "Go this way," and we are like, "Are you sure this is the right way? Like we can't go because there was like this weird like balloony entrance." And we are like, "Are you sure this is real?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's real, it's real." So we just like, and then I just like went through it. But like, yeah, I remember it was actually kind of fun. Okay, anyways, back to the doll factory. Anyways, the beginning of the doll factory is really fun, but like the when you first get in. But other than that, it's like kind of creepy, but like the separation wasn't like too long. It wasn't like it was pretty like yeah, it wasn't that scary. In fact, I would rank hmm, where's Fear? Where did I put Fear? Yeah, Fear A rank. Yeah, definitely it's B tier. Um, but yeah, it was funny. It was scary. It was kind of fun seeing their little introduction in the beginning, but like they had like a paragraph. But other than that, it was just like meh. I mean, the beginning was fun actually. Okay, this one, okay, Doll Factory. It's not B. It's mm, like my other one. It's like 8.5 or like B.5, whatever. It's between A and B. It's definitely, I'd rank it definitely higher than this year's Darkness, Carnival, and The Void. But it's not as good as last year's Void or this year's Fear. So yeah, I'm gonna just kind of put in the B tier. The next one is Materia Medica, I think it's called. So I was kind of confused because I was like, is this a hospital theme? Is this military theme? I was just very confused, and I don't think they had an introduction paragraph in the beginning where we could read, or maybe I missed it. But because we were so confused too, because there's like actors dressed up in like camo and like military, and we're like, what haunted house do they belong to? But I think it's from this one. This one I'll do A tier only because it was hilarious. And I'll tell you why it was hilarious. So they had a really good jump scare in the middle. Like I didn't expect him. Like sometimes jump scares like you can see him and then when you get closer they like scare you. But this one I completely missed. Like the jump scare, like the doctor. But the funny thing was in the last room where at first when I went in, because I was like in front of my friends. I was like the first one. And I thought it was some kind of weird vampire because like this actor was like kind of like you can see the back of the actor and then there's a mannequin sitting down and then they're kind of like hovering like their face is hovering the neck almost like as if like a vampire's trying to suck blood and I'm like what is this weird pose and then immediately they pop the head off and it's like head and like a part of their spinal cord and they start just like whacking the remaining body. It was just like so funny. It was just like it wasn't scary. It was just so violent for such unnecessary reason. It was just like so hilarious. And my friend was like very close to it. And she could feel like the person swinging it, um, but yeah, there's just like I'm pretty sure I almost got hit, but like A tier, not because like other than that first jump, like that doctor jump scare and the end scene, really it was like meh. But oh, the first actor was good. We were kind of confused what he was supposed to represent, but I think he's just PTSD or like he's going through psychosis. But it was definitely like the last room just kind of really made this an A tier for me because it was hilarious. It was just like so funny. But but not least is the Haunted Mansion, which is the OG. Like it's the one that runs like during the summer. I'm pretty sure like you have to pay extra money to get in. Like your entrance ticket to Playland isn't enough. But I would rank this. This one is one of the more popular ones. I'm gonna rank this C tier only because in comparison, so this haunted house, I was like the one and only, the first one and my like I've ever really been to when I was a child. Like I went with my dad and my sister. I think I was probably around 10 years old, and we paid money and we went in, and back then it was so scary. And I think the back then, I don't know if it's still like it's if it's just like Fright Night versus not Fright Night, but or like just back then versus now was like the actors were a lot more like involved, I would say. Like nowadays a lot of the actors, I guess like I don't know, at least during Fright Night, it's really the mechanical mannequins that really do the pop-ups and stuff like that. Like like most of the actors, I would say 80% of the actors just like stand there or sit there creepily watching you. Like they don't really talk or interact. But back then, the Haunted Mansion, like I remember, like they would there was like yell and get super close to your face, where I'm like, I know this is fake, but it's just scary because there's like a grown ass man yelling at me, maybe. But it was scary. But and I feel like a lot of the haunted, I don't know about how Haunted Mansion it is like in the summer, but like back then, the Haunted Mansion I went to, and like it just the theme made much more sense too, because the entire theme is like there's just a tragedy of like this is like a this mansion belonged to a happy loving couple, and then the wife died during childbirth, and then like pretty much the husband with grief was struck, and then he pretty much like tried to resurrect his wife or something like that. And so back then I remember there was like a mom like singing a lullaby to like a cradle. Like it was really on theme. I feel like, but this time I'm like, yeah, there's like so many actors in there, but I feel like it's like I guess they could be like the servants of the house, but I feel like it wasn't very well connected to the theme. I'm like I don't think they like it didn't sound like the family was like that wealthy, but I guess it was a mansion, but it was just like I was like, why? Who are all these people, and how are they related to the original family? You know what I mean? Like I could see like there's a cook, so I'm like, I guess the cook is related, like because they could probably hired a cook, but yeah, but they were a lot more like aggressive and in your face, and a lot I found like at least last year what I found was like a lot of the aspects of the darkness was from the original haunted house. Like I feel like the hallway where they have like skulls like and skeletons like hanging. I don't know, they do a lot of for the haunted house, but I feel like that was like the darkness was like a recreation of what they had at the old haunted house, the haunted mansion I went to. Like and they have these like dizzy spinny rooms like like which is like the darkness has it, the haunted mansion has it, but like I just felt like it was like the darkness last year was like a new and improved haunted house I went to when I was a child. But the haunted house I went this year, it was like they had a lot of actors in it, and it like kind of still it had aspects of the old place, but it was just like, maybe because the actors were just not as like in your face or intense, like the so like they're not like running up to you, they just like do a little jump, or they like talk to you or just like smile at you. Like the bloodshed, they would just like smile and talk very softly, which I'm like, it's not really scary, I guess. It could be creepy, but not that creepy. But this year's haunted house, yeah, it was just like when I compared with the experience. Also, I was like a child, so I was probably more scared. Like I remember, I was like, my dad like left me like to go to the next room, and I was like, Dad, please come back. I cannot go through this hallway full of like skeletons hanging, even though I know these are fake. I just physically can't. Um, but yeah, but maybe it's because I compare it to it, because I would place that S tier, like that haunted house was S tier, but this year's haunted house was just like not as good. So I think it was like jump scares weren't that scary. And when you just compare it with other haunted houses like in B tier and like what I experienced, like it's C tier, but I definitely would rank it higher than the bloodshed last year's bloodshed. So it's probably like C.5. Like it's higher than the bloodshed, but definitely not higher than the B tiered ones. But yeah, so this was my comprehensive list of my tier ranking of this year's Fright Night and last year's in like the Fright Night like more than 10 decade ago. But I'll just do a quick food ranking as well. Last year we didn't really eat much food. We had a corn dog and it was like the best thing ever. When we were waiting for to ride the wooden roller coaster. But this year my friends had it again. It was pretty good. But I'll rank really quickly. Rank it S tier just because last year's was good and this year's was okay. Um, my friend also got a hot dog. This one B tier. The bun was interesting. It's just like not as good as the corn dog. In my opinion, if you give me an option, I'd just get the corn dog. My friend also got a beaver tail, and that one A tier. This is my second beaver tail I had, and even though I don't really like bananas, like this one was good. Like I just think I just love everything fried dough. It was just like hot, freshly made. It was just so good. Um, and I'm like, maybe I should have gotten one, but like not the Nutella flavor because there's like they have like a I forgot what it's called, but it has like have like it's a lemon, sugar, cinnamon. It just sounds so good. This year I got my first ever mini donuts. This one B tier. I just feel like I got them when they were just not hot. I feel like if I got them when they were like piping hot, I would rank them definitely like more than A tier, not as high as S tier. This is B tier, but like not B tier, like B.5. Like it's a little better than B tier. Like the whipped cream was good, the icing was good. Like it was good, but I just wish it was just hot. It was kind of cold and it was kind of like floppy, but it was tasty. And I just wish they have a smaller size, like $15 for this one. It's just so much. Like I don't like if you're in a group of six, maybe like I had two leftovers and I just threw it away because like none of us wanted to eat it. There's so much sugar, but yeah, I just wish they served a smaller size and just made it a little cheaper. Like, and and then the last one is a tater tots, like a nacho thing. This one, I didn't give a fair shot because it's from last year and my friend ordered it and then I just had like, because we split and we met up and so they only had a little bit left over and I had that and it was really good, but like it's not a fair chance because I didn't really have it when it was like piping, like when it just came out or like or like when there was like plenty of the toppings, but this was really good, like I remember. But A tier, but I feel like if I had it again this year it would have probably been S tier. But yeah, so oh, and whenever you get a Sprite or a Coke, it's just hits so different. It's so good. Those S tier, cause our voice is kind of hoarse and sore from all the yelling. But yeah, also disclaimer, I try not to spoil the haunted houses as much as I can, but I mean, there's a little bit of spoiler, so watch at your own discretion, I guess, if you like never been there and you don't want to be spoiled. But yeah, this was my comprehensive list of pretty much what I did at Playland. And this year the lineups were actually not that crazy because we went earlier in the month, so we were actually able to ride a couple of rides too, which was great. Yeah, but that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.